Assalamu alaikum and hello viewers. Today we'll talk on another important topic, that is goals of foreign policy. There are four main goals of foreign policy. First is security, then is autonomy, third is welfare, and the fourth one is status and prestige. So first to talk about security, there are various strategies to get security. So every state in the world wants to have security and to be strengthened. So in this regard, the first strategy we can discuss, that is alliance. Different states in the world, they join alliances, they form alliances. Why? To get security. We have North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. We had Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, CETO. We had Central Treaty Organization, CENTO. We had NZUS, Australia, New Zealand, and United States alliance, and so many other alliances in the world, coalitions, security uh, commitments states they have with one another, that is to get a security. So there are various conditions for security, for alliance that states they do sign with one another, and they perform their duties according to those conditions. So this is one of the oldest uh, goals of foreign policy, that states they always strive for security. It is not a new concept. Since the inception of the state itself, this security dilemma has been there. Various international relations theories have talked about the familiarity and the significance of security and how to get security. So this alliance formation, even it is in the BC era, what Thucydides has also discussed about it in his book, The Peloponnesian War, and what he discussed about the Sparta alliance, the Athens alliance, there were two alliances and various city states, they joined them. One was led by Sparta, another was Athens. They fought wars with one another. And later on, in the medieval period, in medieval Europe, after that, in the modern Europe, we see the rise of Bismarck, the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, the First World War, and the interwar period between the two world wars, the Second World War. After that, the Cold War period, what we have seen, the two blocks. One was led by the US, the capitalist bloc. The second was led by the Soviet Union, the socialist bloc. So, and even today in the post-Cold War era, since the disintegration of the Soviet Union, now there is sole superpower in the shape of the United States. So there are various alliances, and of course, the biggest one today, that is the NATO alliance. So states they form and they join alliances to get security. It is one of the fundamental goals of foreign policy. Second strategy, to get security by a state, that is isolation. Some states they want to be isolated in world affairs, they don't want to be indulged in international politics. So we have examples from history. We have the example of Bhutan, a tiny South Asian state that it remained for century his isolated state, that was India, which opened Bhutan for itself. We had also example of Japan. It was also isolated, and that was the US, which compelled Japan to open itself for the trade activities. And now even United States and Japan, they are allies, and they are economic partners with one another. Uh, United States of America also remained isolated. That was also on the wishes of the U.S. public. And even when the Second World War started, U.S. did not want to join it. But it was in December 1941 when the Japanese military attacked on a military base of the US and Hawaii Islands. And after that, the then US President Roosevelt, he decided to join this Second World War. So many states they want to be isolated in world affairs, not to have any kind of concerns with the international politics, and especially to lead the world. And they do adopt the isolationist policy that is also for getting security. Third strategy, that is the contracting out. Some states in the world, either they are not capable to have their own defense forces, their own military, or sometimes even they don't want. So that's why they have some agreements with the great powers or powerful states. So that they are responsible for the security of the other states. We have example, just as Iceland, a West European country, and Iceland doesn't have its forces, and United States provide military assistance to Iceland. So that's why it is a kind of contracting out between the United States and the Iceland. Another strategy to get security by a state, that is the neutrality. Some states, they don't want to join power politics, they don't want to join alliance or any bloc. We have glaring example of the Cold War, that some states they joined the US bloc, some states they joined the Soviet bloc, but some states they did not want to join any bloc. So first, the African and Asian states, they joined conferences. And first conference in this regard was the Bandung Conference, which was held in 1955 in Indonesia. Second conference, Afro-Asian Conference, was in Belgrade, the then capital of Yugoslavia, in 1961. And there was also the establishment of the name non-aligned movement. Although that some states, they were also parts of the US bloc capitalist or the Soviet bloc socialist, just like Pakistan, People's Republic of China, and so many others, but they were also members of the name non-aligned movement. So this is an example of neutrality. And there are so many, there are some countries in Europe who remained neutral in the European conflicts. If we see the history, so even today their neutrality is regarded, just like the Switzerland, and in many cases the Netherlands had this kind of strategy. So this was about security. Now the second goal of foreign policy, that is autonomy. So not only sovereignty is necessary for a country, but on the other hand, autonomy is also very crucial. What is autonomy? The capability of a state to run and formulate its own policies and implement them according to its own national interest, according to the wishes of the people. So if a state is capable, so then that state we can call autonomy. Some states in the world, they may exist that they have all kinds of the requirements. I mean, we can call it as a state, that there are four pillars of the state: government, population, territory, and sovereignty. But we can't, in actual form, we can't call every state as an autonomous state. So this autonomy is also very much necessary. I mean that a state must be free from the directions and dictation of other states or other international organizations. Yes, it is very much difficult in today's interdependent world, in today's globalized world, but every state tries to be very much free in all its affairs, whether those are external or it's an internal affairs. So then we can call it an autonomous state. The third goal of foreign policy, that is welfare. Every state want to be welfare. What is welfare? That a state provides the basic necessities and also takes care of the requirements of its own people. So all the facilities what a state provides to its own people, public citizens, then that state can be called a welfare state. So of course socialism also talks about its own concept of welfare. Islamic system also says in its own way. Capitalism or democracy says in its own way. Monarchy has its own definition of the welfare. So every state has its own concept of welfare. There are various strategies to get welfare for the state. One is economic coalitions. Today, we have various kinds of economic coalitions. GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, is an economic coalition. Even European Union, EU, it is an economic coalition which started in 1951 from the European Steel and Coal Community. Then in 1958, it was transformed into a European single market. Then in 1993, it was renamed as the European Union We have the Economic Cooperation Organization ECO, where Pakistan is also one of the members, alongside with Iran, Turkey, and some Central Asian states in Afghanistan. ASEAN is a glaring example, association of the Southeast Asian nations, that it always strives for welfare and economic activities. And there are so many other organizations. So these economic coalitions where states they want to form or to join, there's also for getting welfare for its own people. Another strategy to get welfare, that is the cartels. What is cartels? Cartel is the collective monopoly of the producers, that I give example from the oil, in the backdrop. If we see the third Arab-Israel war in 1973, so the Arab states they imposed oil embargo on the Western states and on the United States, and that was for the first time in the world human history that oil was used as a weapon. So that is a good example of the cartels that at that time, most of the Europe and the US was dependent on the Arab states for its oil supply. Then, on the call of the Arab leaders, especially the King Faisal, this embargo was imposed. So sometimes states they do adopt these cartels. Strategy to get welfare for the state. Another, that is the self-reliance. Some states they don't want to join any bloc. They don't want to get aid or assistance, whether military, technical, or economic, from other states. That's why they want to be very much independent and they want to be self-reliant. That they should not be dependent on others. Example, that is the People's Republic of China in 1960s, in the era of 1960s, that China was having China had anti-double policy, that in the decade of 1960s, China was against of both superpowers, the United States and also the Soviet Union. So that's why China had started two programs, one that was the Great Leap Forward and another that was the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution. And of course, there are some other various strategies to get welfare by the state. The fourth goal of foreign policy, that is the status and prestige. Of course, just as individuals, same is the case with the states. States they also want to be they want to be very much respected. They want to have dignity, status, and prestige, pomp and show in the world. So they adopt various strategies. First, that is the protection of the ethnic, religious, or ideological colleagues. Various states they go to war even. Why? To protect the ethnic community, just as the example of the China-Vietnam War in 1979, that there was Chinese community inside the borders of Vietnam. They were discriminated, as was reported to China, and then a border was occurred between China and Vietnam. To protect ideological community, look to the Korean War. Half the European states, America, the capitalist democratic states, they protected South Koreans, and half the socialist states, China and Soviet Union, and some other from Eastern Europe, they wanted to support North Korea, which was a socialist state. So another, that is to protect religious community. So Pakistan is always supported the Muslim cause across the globe, whether there is the issue of Palestine, Kashmir, Rohingya Muslims, the independence of Algeria, independence of many other Muslim countries in Africa and Asia, and so many other cases. And we can cite hundreds of examples from this. So sometimes states they do add to get respect, dignity, and status and prestige in the world. Another, that is the dream of world reorganization. Look, that every ideology has its own dream to organize the world. Look to socialism, democracy, the Islamic system, Khilafah system, monarchy, even dictatorship, and so many others. Some leaders they claim themselves that they are